We got the pimp story where Perry reneged on a deal, backed out of a deal, a cash transaction that he, basically a contractual agreement that he broke. That's one. Number two, the Haagen-Dazs story where Perry picked up a turd. Not only did he pick up his own human turd, he walked into a public restaurant where they were serving ice cream with lovely families enjoying their ice cream, delicious ice cream. And they not only got to look at him holding his turd, but they got to smell it too. And then poor Randy Callahan, just a small, low rent casting agent trying to get by in life, and Perry can't even give him a decent hand job. Okay, you're going to get the Trump standee and the Mike Lindell standee, please, for our closer. And don't worry, I will remind you of the closer.
What?
Yeah, I wanted to sit. Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Leave him there. That's good. All right, now bring Mike Lindell over and put him like right next to you. Thank you. This is good. Right here is good. You're gonna like basically be Mike Lindell. I'm gonna be Trump back there, and we're gonna have a presidential style debate conversation over your stories. It's gonna be the pimp story, the poop story, the 92 story. We're gonna talk about the validity of these stories. You don't have to tell the stories. We kind of know the stories. We're just gonna counterpoint. Like, we're going to mention the points. You're going to defend your actions as Mike Lindell. Can you at least try to do a Mike Lindell impression?
I don't know how.
Perry, again, I'm going to ask you to just try and do a Mike Lindell impression. Just try.
I don't know how to do a Mike Lindell impersonation.
Okay, so no impression from Perry. No, as usual, minimal effort from Perry. We're going to have a little back and forth. Remember, you're not Perry, you're Mike Lindell. You're not talking as Perry, you're talking as Mike Lindell. Let's just catch up on people what the pimp story is. The pimp story was when Perry went to pay for a prostitute, as he often did back in the day. One time, it was he paid for the girl to have relations with him, and then he cried like a girl at the end, demanding his money back, and she had to call her pimp to ask permission, and he basically begged to get the money back. Did I get that right?
Something to that effect, yeah.
The debate will start with Trump talking about the pimp story. Okay? Now, from what I understand, this was a business transaction that Perry entered. He was not coerced in any way. He was not forced. This young lady in this transaction honored her part of the deal. She engaged in the sexual intercourse, which must have been absolutely disgusting. But did she not enter that? Did she not enter that willingly?
She came over. She did her thing. I paid her money, but then I realized.
No, see, Perry, you're ruining it already. You're not you. You're Mike Lindell.
She came over. Perry paid her the money. He had relations with her. And he realized when he got done that he had no more money to go back and forth to work.
Okay, again, I know your brain is very small, but at least try to remember that you're playing a character. It's not you in the first person. You're talking as Mike Lindell defending you. So you're not saying I, you're saying Perry.
I said he. I didn't say the word I.
Then I heard it wrong.
He realized when he got done.
He paid her money. She came over. He gave her sex. He needed money to go back and forth to work.
Boy, so right there, this guy Perry, he's such a lowlife. He pays for this sex, and then he tries to make it all about himself. Okay, now in business, we call this rescinding the initial contractual agreement. He entered a contractual agreement and he rescinded. He basically schemed and scammed his way out of this transaction. It really is disgusting because she put her best effort into this, I'm sure, to have sex with this disgusting pervert.
This degenerate. Yeah, fine. Perry was a degenerate. Yes. Perry begged for the money back. Yes. Perry is a degenerate. Yes. Get it? Got it? Nothing more needs to be said. Thank you.
Now, how did Perry exactly get his money back? From what I understand, is he made this poor girl call her pimp.
I didn't make her call anybody.
She not you, not first person.
What was it? $300 at the time, I think, and he had no more money for an entire week. He had $0 in his bank. after giving her all of his money.
Well, don't you think, Mike, Mr. Lindell, and by the way, Mr. Lindell, there's nothing against you. I love your kind, and you've been a tremendous supporter of mine. But your defense of this guy is, quite frankly, makes me think differently about our relationship. But don't you think that Perry should have thought about that before he entered into this depravity? And I thought if he didn't have the money to buy the item, that maybe he should have waited until he did have the money to buy the item.
Well, not only should he have waited to buy the item, but he also should have got one of my pillows. But that was back in the 80s, so my pillows weren't out back in the 80s. So
what does this have to do with what we're talking about, Mike? I mean, I think you're going off topic here. We're not talking about your pillow. Your pillows are wonderful. We're not talking about your pillows. We're talking about Mr. Caravello. Yeah, I've known a lot of pimps in my day. Many pimps. These are tough guys, let me tell you. Tough guys. It's tricky business, but no pimp that I've ever known would ever agree to refund a degenerate client after the sexual act has already been consummated. How could you do that? That's very bad business. Very bad. That's on the pimp. That's very bad business. That's a terrible business.
It was bad business for Mr. Caravello, and I hope to God he never goes down that road again.
Very honored to be here in Perry Cure Live. As we move on to this next story, and I hesitate to bring it up because this one is this one's really gross. This is a gross story about a really sick individual. Really sick. But it's the poop story. We all know about the poop story, and if just to recap for the people at home, the poop story is Perry is walking along the street back in Palm Springs, and he poops. Poop comes out down his shorts out onto the street. He can call it a fart, but it was a poop. And instead of walking away from this poop, he tried kicking it into the street. That didn't work, though, of course. Didn't work at all. It was very, very bad, very sad. And the poop called him back, said, "Hey, come get me. I'm a poop. I'm a big poop. Come get me. You can't just leave me here in the street. I'm a poop. And I'm not a dog poop. I'm a human
poop. I'm not a dog poop."
It's very obvious that I'm a human poop. You can't just leave me in the street. People can't walk down on the street here in Palm Springs and see a human poop. That would be bad. It would be very bad for tourism, very bad for the businesses on the street. Please kindly pick me up and do something about it. So what did he do? He came by, he picked up the poop, and where'd he go? Did he put it in the public trash facilities that are all over the street? No, he didn't do that. What this guy did, this guy is such a lowlife, I'll tell you what he did. He walked into an ice cream parlor, the Haagen-Dazs. We all like Haagen-Dazs, right? Haagen-Dazs, great ice cream, Haagen-Dazs, all those flavors, Haagen-Dazs. And there's families enjoying their ice cream on a nice, cool evening. And this creep comes walking in, and he's got the poop. Did he put it in his pocket? Did he wrap it in a napkin? No, I'll tell you what this guy did. He comes in with that poop, and it's right in his hand for everybody to see. And then the manager behind the counter, he knew this creep. He points him to the bathroom, to the toilet, and he goes in, puts it in the toilet. Then he takes a bigger poop in the toilet, takes a huge poop, and flushes it down, doesn't wash his hand. It comes out. Yeah, it's a big laugh.
Oh, I definitely wash my hands. Most definitely, Perry washes his hands.
It's a big joke. It's a big joke, big laugh. We're all laughing. Wait, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you who wasn't laughing, Perry. The people that were there that night to enjoy some ice cream and sit down and had to deal with your disgust.
Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Ugh.
Now, this story really makes my stomach turn. It is what I'd like to call sick. It is sick. It's depraved. Defecation in public is something
Gross.
I am very opposed to. Let me tell you, very opposed to human defecation. It's very wrong. It's what I would call bad. We have so many beautiful streets in this country, and for a person like Perry to use these streets as what, a toilet? No, that's very wrong.
When you don't have enough, when you don't realize that you need to use the toilet as you're blowing a fart out your butt, and all of a sudden a turd comes out, please.
Mike, I know you're trying to defend this guy, but how do you defend defecating in the street? A beautiful street, not just any street, a beautiful street. A beautiful street with lots of businesses and families. It's a beautiful street until this creep comes along and just decides that he's going to use it as his own personal toilet. And you know what? You look at LA today, and that's all it is a toilet. You see homeless people defecating all over. It's disgusting what happened to that. And I blame Perry. I blame Perry because he was the first guy to turn these streets into his own public toilet.
No, he wasn't.
Mike Lindell, how do you defend that? How do you defend that? What say you?
When you make a mistake in your pants, you make a mistake in your pants. What can you do?
Look, we've all made mistakes, okay? It's called a fart. It's called a fart. We've all farted, okay? I farted.
Exactly.
We all fart. But you know what? If you feel something else come out, you gotta clench your butt cheeks. That's what you do, right? You clench your butt cheeks.
Yeah, you clench your butt cheeks and you cut the turd in half as it's coming as you're breaking wind. Oh, shit. Ugh.
But Mike, why isn't this guy wearing underwear, boxer shorts? It would have caught the poop. It would have made it not fall out. Why is this man walking around? If this guy cannot control his own bowels.
Those were boxer shorts back in those days. I was wearing boxers back in those days. I didn't wear briefs back then. I had boxers on.
Well, you know what makes me sick to my stomach is, it's one thing to have an accident. Okay, you know what? The mentally ill, they have these accidents. Whatever. Perry's not. He's not all there. He's got a few marbles loose, of course, and I guess things happen. But then to pick up his own feces, and then to go a step further, he takes it a step further. He could have put it in any trash can on the corner, thrown it away, dumped it down a sewer.
Yeah,
that's where turds belong, don't they? They belong in the sewer. They belong in the sewer. They belong in the trash. But to take it a step further, this guy Perry, he had a walk in to an ice cream parlor where families,
not
children,
just any
people,
ice cream parlor.
They're enjoying their and he's talking over me. He's talking over me because he just has to talk. He just can't listen. This guy, he just talks over and talks. So I listen to the stream all the time. Talks over Tom B. Doesn't let him get a word out. But you know what? This guy, what he did. These families, they were enjoying their delicious ice cream, okay? And we all love ice cream, all right? Especially on a hot summer night. What's better than enjoying an ice cream? And you're enjoying your ice cream with your family, and you see this depravity, this creature walk in, and what has he got in his hand? Is he holding ice cream? No, he's holding a log of feces. A log of feces in his hand. Yeah, and it's a big joke to you and Mike Lindell. But I'll tell you who it wasn't a joke for, okay? Tell you who it wasn't a joke for. It wasn't a joke to those families. And I think he should be banned from all Haagen-Dazs for life, for that incident. That's what I think.
Thank you.
Mike, what's that again? Mike, I'm asking you, Mike. How do you defend that? How do you defend his actions?
Perry's now banned from all Haagen-Dazs, all Baskin-Robbins, all 31 flavors, all 33 flavors, and I gotta go. Oh, that feels good. I gotta. Piss and shit in my pop.
Is this Mike Lindell? Because it's supposed to be Mike Lindell talking, or is Perry such a bird brain? This guy is such a bird brain. He can't even remember that he's supposed to be Mike Lindell right now. His
thoughts were cuckoo.
You know what we call that? We call that shit for brains. Shit for brains. So, okay, we all admit Perry has shit for brains, and now we go to the ultimate story of Perry, and this one, boy, oh boy, he can't stop bragging about it ever since it happened all those years ago, 32 years ago, of course. Perry answered an ad in the Penny Saver, as we all know. He wanted to be a star. Don't we all want to be a star, of course? And where do you go to be a star? Of course, it's the Penny Saver, of course, where people have classified ads to buy used bicycles. That's where you're going to be a star, of course. Barry doesn't know, never heard of Variety Magazine, I guess. Never heard of the trades. Just goes to Penny Saver, okay? And he calls a number.
It's a stupid magazine that came in the mail. So he opens the magazine up and answers the ad in the magazine, okay?
And so he calls this number, this fly-by-night office. Doesn't take much to set up an office. I know about that. You can just set up a business in any town, set up an office, and go yourself a business, okay? So he calls a casting agent named Randy Callahan. Remember Randy Callahan? Boy, we all remember Randy Callahan. And boy, he set him up on this his first acting job at Loma Linda Hospital, wasn't it? Where he played a doctor in a print ad. Not even TV. Not a TV. It was a print ad. Okay? So he goes up as a doctor. Of course, they got all these...
Hospital was where the ad was, the billboard was made for. Alvarado Hospital.
Sorry, I got them confused. Loma Linda was where he had his fake coma. Fake coma, everybody. We all know it was a fake coma.
Fake my ass.
Fake coma. We all know the fake comas.
Yeah,
okay?
and your dream
Alvarado
was
Hospital. So he's on this set and he's hugging and kissing all these other doctors and all these ladies and all these nurses. And
not doctors, nurses.
And he's hugging and kissing.
Gross.
And then what does he do? He, after the day of taking his little pictures, he played dress up. Basically played dress up in a Halloween costume. All right, drove all the way down south to do this. Mike, I need you to stay with me, Mike. You're part of this, okay? Need you to stay with me, Mike.
My fucking arm is killing me.
Sleepy Mike Lindell. Sleepy Mike Lindell. Can't even have a debate.
Whatever.
Sleepy Mike with the pillow in his hand. Can't handle it. There was a Shannon Doherty lookalike. 90210. We all remember 90210. Very popular show at the time, of course. And Perry pulls this young lady over. She's looking for directions. I didn't
pull her over. She came up to me and asked
Mike, you'll have your time to talk, of course. And basically, he effed her on the freeway. Remember that famous quote? I effed her on the freeway.
What a lie. Perry did nothing wrong to this woman on the freeway. He went to be nice to this woman, to give her a good night kiss on the cheek. She freaked out and went to the passenger side of the car. He got scared, backed away from the car, got in his car, and left. It's a wake-up phone call at 10 a.m. the next morning.
I tried to get sexual with her on the freeway. I tried to fuck her on the freeway.
Those are Perry's own words.
Yeah, that was a sarcastic remark.
Now, if you listen to this stream at all, you hear Perry's version of what happened in the reality. Okay, tried to F her on the freeway.
Stupid remark I fucking made.
Okay, first of all, Mike, you're Mike Lindell. Okay, and you'll have your turn.
Sure.
So Perry harassed this woman, and some say he even took his clothes off. I don't say that, but some people do say that he took his clothes off, jumped in the car, and did unspeakable things. But we don't know. All we know is he ended up in this Randy Callahan's office the next day. Perry goes in, says, "How can I get out of this trouble? Can I do something to you? Can I stare at your genitals? Maybe rub you?
I didn't say, can I do anything to you?
Can I go down on you? That's what they call it. They call it going down on a guy. Okay. Now,
I never said that I would go down on you.
Okay, Mike Lindell, you'll have your chance, and I never said you went down on me, Perry. Please pay attention. But this is what Perry did to get out of this trouble to a guy, and just let me explain. This guy, this casting agent, had to take an ad out in the penny saver. Okay, not the LA Times, not Variety, where that would actually cost some money. I've taken out many advertisements in my time, all my businesses. Mike Lindell, if you could please wake up, that'd be great. And sit up. Took an ad out in the penny saver. What does that cost? I think that probably cost about $7.25 back in 1992.
I don't know.
Perry buys into whatever this guy was selling, did his sexual acts, whatever the sexual acts were, and boy, that's just
blah blah blah.
Disgusting. And let me tell you, performing oral sex is a tough job, very challenging. And he probably heard that this guy gave the best. He was an expert, as Perry says, an expert. And just wanted to sit back and enjoy the ride and not do any work, because that's what Perry does. Doesn't want to do any work. So he let Mr. Callahan do all the work, and he just sat there and enjoyed it. Just sat there and took it. And this guy probably mailed in the hand job as well, just like he does everything else in his life. What does Tom B call it? The Perry way. The Perry way. He probably did it the Perry way, the laziest hand job possible. It's very sad. Very sad, very disgusting.
You're sick.
What do you say? How can you defend this, Mr. Lindell? How
You're
can you
sick.
defend this? How
That's
can you
the only
defend this?
defense I have. I don't have any defense.
Well, that's,
Perry doesn't have defense
well,
either.
Mr. Lindell, Perry was paid for you to defend him. So if you don't defend him, Perry doesn't get paid. So I'm going to need your defense on this.
What? I don't know how to defend him for what he did.
Did he give a dedicated hand job to Mr. Callahan, or did
Yes,
he nail
he
it
gave
in?
a dedicated hand job. The fucking guy came all over him.
What he did here is he did not honor the deal. He did not. Once again, Perry manipulated the deal to his own advantage. He turned down the giving of the oral sex this casting agent requested because, quite frankly, he was lazy. That's why he turned it down. And I'm not one of these people that believe that Perry blew Randy Callahan. I believe that he turned it down because he was just lazy. And still is. I mean, look at him. Look at him right now. I mean, this is the laziest guy.
Perry's not gay.
Have we ever seen a lazier guy than this guy?
Gay.
This is a guy in life that lets all the other people in his life do all the heavy lifting while he just sits there. He just sits there and earns a paycheck, doesn't do any hard work.
Well, yeah.
How do you defend the fact? Why didn't Perry leave the office as soon as this came up that you know the
He
sexual
didn't
favor?
want to get fired. I don't know why he didn't leave.
What you're saying, Mike, is there's just no defense. There's no defense here. No defense here about what Perry did. Perry was very wrong, and he gave
Perry
a
was-
very
Perry was-
lazy. Gave a very lazy. Mailed it in. Mailed the hand job in. Didn't even put any effort into it. Probably didn't even spit on his hand first. Probably didn't even spit on his hand. Didn't give any lubrication whatsoever, and just probably gave him a really rough. I mean, Randy Callahan would have been better off. Pleasing himself with some sandpaper, because Perry didn't do any effort into it. He just made the man sit there and suffer, and didn't even clean up after himself. Just disgusting.
You guys, whatever Perry did, okay? All I got to say about that was Perry's still alive, and I'm still alive. And the president that's behind Perry is still alive. So there.
So we got the pimp story. We got the pimp story where Perry reneged on a deal, backed out of a deal, a cash transaction that he basically a contractual agreement that he broke. That's one. Number two, the Haagen-Dazs story where Perry picked up a turd. Not only did he pick up his own human turd, he walked into a public restaurant where they were serving ice cream with lovely families enjoying their ice cream, delicious ice cream. And they not only got to look at him holding his turd, but they got to smell it too. And then poor Randy Callahan, just a small, low rent casting agent trying to get by in life, and Perry can't even give him a decent hand job. Disgusting. And can we talk about Juliet? Juliet. Everyone's talking about this Juliet. Perry meets this Juliet. She's a neighbor of his, and what does he do? He tries to harass her.
Nice dinner.
He bombards her with text messages, even after he says, "I'm not bothering her anymore, folks. Not bothering her anymore." But of course, he goes back. He goes back and sends her more text messages. Tom, can you put up those text messages again? They're just
Leave
disgusting.
what happened in the past alone. It's already been up there.
Mike,
Doesn't need to be seen
it
again.
happened yesterday. 4th of July. 4th of July,
Here
celebrating this beautiful country.
This
beautiful
stand
country.
will go
And
back.
no,
Will
Mike,
go
don't go
fast.
anywhere, Mike. You're not done yet, Mike, and I'm gonna need you to stay there. Gonna need you to stay, Mike. Gonna need you to stay. 4th of July, he's harassing Juliet again, asking, "What time are you coming to the pool? What time are you coming to the pool?" And, of course, what he's looking to do is just harass this poor woman. Sees another woman that looks just like Juliet, who yells at him because he's being, of course, a pest. What do we call it? We call it a sex pest. That's what Perry is, a sex pest. A sex pest. How do you defend Perry's actions with Juliet? A woman in his own complex. Poor lady has to live in, and gotta be the worst complex I'm gonna say right now, probably the worst complex in the whole country. It's very bad area, very bad complex, very run down. Very run down. She has to live there with her two children.
You.
So Mike
He's
Lindell.
not moving.
Mike Lindell.
Perry's not moving.
Mike Lindell, I want you to explain. I want you to defend Perry's actions with this harassment of this poor woman, Juliet.
Perry's not in trouble by anybody. Perry has already apologized to this woman. Perry is getting harassed by President Trump. by these obnoxious remarks. So leave Perry alone. I've got things to do today, so let me go. Okay, leave Perry alone. President Trump will talk to Perry after.
Well, let's do this. Let's do this. Now, Mike Lindell, we got to come up with a punishment. Now, here we are. We'll give Perry a clean slate. We'll give Perry a clean slate with the harassment of Juliet. But what happens if we find out that Perry sent another text message to poor Juliet, single mother, poor Juliet. If Perry sends another text message, what is the punishment if we find out? If we find a phone call or a text message, what's the punishment? Like, what do we do? What do we do with this guy? What do we do? This creepy guy, this guy that just can't help himself. What do we do?
I have no idea what we do with him anymore.
So we got to think of an appropriate punishment. Maybe take it to the chat. We'll take it to the chat, because what do we say about Perry Carroll Alive? If you don't know the answer, you take it to the chat. So chat, what would be a good punishment for Perry? A realistic punishment?
Perry ends up at the fucking wedding chapel and marrying Juliet. There he goes.
See, that's a delusion, Perry. That's a delusion.
Juliet.
This guy's very delusional. Thinks he's a ladies' man, but he's not. Hasn't had sex since 2009, and I wonder why.
Because he doesn't want to get AIDS, okay? He doesn't want to get that disgusting disease that'll murder him. Stupid.
Jim, everybody loves Jim PCL. Jim PCL says, if Perry texts Juliet again, he needs to go to her patio like Romeo and tell her the 1992 story. That's what.
Go fuck yourself, asshole.
No, Mike Lindell, we're not done yet, Don't walk away.
Damn it.
Don't walk away. We don't want you to walk away. Don't want to disappoint the audience watching, of course.
Goodbye.
We're not done yet. Not done yet, Perry. Not done yet.
Yes, we are.
We got to get to the punishment now. The punishment phase. If Perry bothers Juliet one more time, what are people saying? What's the punishment? Perry, Mike Lindell, do you have any suggestions? What should Perry's punishment be if he bothers the lovely Juliet again? And we love Juliet, by the way. We all love Juliet. We're not saying anything bad about Juliet. She's a lovely lady, single mother, working hard. Unfortunately, she's in that hellhole.
She's got to get $100,000
Perry, Mike Lindell, can you please tell Perry to shut the hell up while I'm talking? Thank you very much. It's very rude to talk over former president of the United States. Lovely lady. She just has to, unfortunately, live in that shithole apartment. That's what we call it. Call it a shit. I get in trouble for calling it things a shithole, but that's a shithole apartment is what it is. That's what it is. And hopefully, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to donate. Hopefully, we can get her out of there. Get her away from Perry. Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should have a fundraiser for Juliet to get away from Perry. But you know what? Before we do that, we got to figure out a punishment for this guy, this creepy guy, this stalker guy, this creep, this lowlife. Keeps bombarding this woman with text messages. Mike Lindell, you're a man of God. You're a straight arrow. I'm gonna ask you a question, Mike, and I want you to give me an honest answer. If Perry contacts Juliet again, which he's sworn he wouldn't do, but if he does, what is the punishment?
$100,000 wedding ring. Not
Mike
a
gonna need a
$1,000
serious answer, or Perry doesn't get paid.
$100,000 wedding ring.
Mike,
he's going to be in debt for the rest of his life.
Mike gonna need a serious answer.
I just gave it to you.
Okay, well, I have an answer here from the
rest of his life.
The great Tony Hawk has come up with an answer. Sent me an answer.
Yeah.
Don't we love
Juliet's
Tony?
gonna be fucking Tony. There's the answer.
Don't we love Tony Hawk? Tony Hawk, by the way.
Fucking Tony and Tony's wife and family will no longer have Tony.
Tony Hawk, by the way, is great American. Created a business. Video games to sell to people, to all those dummies that still skateboarded after the age of 16. Of course, we all know as a child, very childish to skateboard. But Tony Hawk was able to market himself to sell to these dummies that are still skateboarding after the age of 16. Can you imagine?
Friends.
Can you imagine skating on a skateboard after the age of 16? Yeah, very sad, very childish hobby, very childish.
Yeah, I've got friends that are in their 60s that are still skaters. Friends in their 70s and 80s that are still skaters.
Very childish hobby. Not a sport, by the way. Not a sport.
It's a sport. It's a professional sport, and it's in the Olympic Games.
The great Tony Hawk has a punishment for Perry. If Perry bothers Juliet again, and I think we set this in stone. If Perry bothers Juliet again by text message, and you know what? I'm going to find out about this. I'm going to use all of my powers to make sure I find out if Perry has bothered Juliet again, the lovely Juliet, as she's bothered again. She's bothered again by Perry. This is what's going to happen. And this goes for text message or voicemail. Can't forget the voicemails.
What's the bullshit, Mr. Bullshit Artist?
Can't forget the voicemails. But if Perry sends a voicemail or a text message again, Perry Caravello's boat garden, the boat garden on the patio,
Goes in the fucking garbage bin behind me immediately.
The goat garden has been extended until the end of July. The end of July, Perry already accepted that. But if Perry contacts Juliet again, the boat garden gets extended for an entire year. An entire year of the boat garden.
Oh, go fuck yourself, motherfucker!
No, Mike, I'm going to need you to stay there or Perry doesn't get paid.
Good fucking day! Fucking loser!
Chat
computer
summary.
off!
Computer
fucking off! Motherfucking computer off!
Chat summary.
Glasses go away!
Viewers are
Fuckface.
Discussing a viral
Fuck
story
you.
of a man who carries his own poop around. Very
Fuck
disgusting.
you.
Refers
You're
to it as
fucking
his prized
demented,
possession
perverted garbage! You
and holds
fucking
conversations with it. Some viewers find it entertaining, while others are disgusted. Truly disgusted. So we'll get a whole year of the garden, folks. A whole year of the PCL garden if Perry does not leave poor Juliet alone.
Weirdo. Out of my house! Electricity off! Thank you!